Hello, Speedy. Good to see you again. Hello, the guys. How are you doing? Good to see you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and just get started. Hey guys, welcome to a late night stream here in Airport CEO. Alright, as you can see, I've done some planning off camera. Nothing... Okay, so the main thing is I unlocked this other tile and then kept the game going so we could still get money. I'm just working on some school stuff, the guys. What subjects are you working on? Yeah, we're, so I changed the game plan while I was waiting for money to build up, and I decided instead of upgrading this terminal to, take medium aircraft, it would probably be easier just to totally build a new medium terminal. So this here is going to be our, domestic terminal. And it's going to have 2, maybe 3 concourses eventually. But obviously, for money's sake, we're going to be starting with just the 1. And this is going to be a little bit unique, at least unique to me. I've never built an airport in this way before. I am going to have the arrivals and baggage be on the ground level floor. And then upstairs, we're going to have check-in and security, and then people are going to come this way to their gates. So you can see there's not any terminal on this floor in the plans. This orange means that it's planned. It hasn't been paid for or construction hasn't started yet. You're just in freshman year for now, but you're looking forward to being a firefighter. Well, that's a really good goal to have, the guys. I might be biased, but good luck to you in your studies and in that goal. That's very exciting. Alright, so yeah, we've got I'm also going for these parking lots here instead of the normal parking garages that I use, only because these parking lots fit underneath the terminal and the parking garages don't. So yeah, it's this is gonna be very, very cool, I think. Also cool is this parking area that I have planned. You can see there's a stairwell here in the middle, and that goes down. I've built kind of like an underground parking structure. Well, it's not built yet, it's planned. So I think without further ado, we need to start building our stuff. And the first thing that we need to build is the main terminal building. I've moved our contractors and supplies to come down here. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, that's half of our money gone immediately, just in the ground level terminal building. We might need to take out a loan. I mean, look how much bigger just that part is compared to that entire terminal. That's alright, as I'm not going to bring in any more contractors, because if this is built slowly, that'll give our money a bit more time to recover. I feel like I'm a little bit off-center in the camera frame. I'm going to see if I can adjust my webcam. I'm sorry, I really should have done this before I started streaming. That's going to have to be good for now. I can refocus the camera and stuff later when I'm not actually live. All right. I've also changed our entrance roads up a bit. I figured that was a minor enough thing. I went ahead and did it off camera. So we now have, the tunnels are still dual direction, and so you can come in and you can access the parking lots or the service entrances basically freely, but then the ring road around the terminals is all one way. I think we need some different music here. This is just a little bit too go to sleep style. I have to actually Alt-Tab to do that, so I'm going to switch to my BRB screen. I'll keep the mic on, though. The station is called Chill Guitars. I didn't expect to get Sleepy Piano. Let's see. How about... I don't think we need Hype Bangers, though, either. Let's maybe try Chill EDM. That's not typically something I'd go for, but let's experiment. I don't think my normal metal or rock really goes with this game, you know. I'm gonna try some chill EDM. Alright, let's get back to the live scene. Of course, the downside of transitioning like that is it clears the chat widget for some reason, so now we just have that empty box on the screen again. Oh well. My wife would be so happy I'm voluntarily listening to EDM. That's her primary genre. She's in bed with the dog. On that night shift life, though, I gotta stay up late. This has got a good beat to it. Yeah, you can see our airport is really busy. We do have these 4 remote stands operational, in addition to our 8 over here. So if we look at our flight planner, we're getting almost maximum flights that our airport can currently handle, which is excellent. We did have a couple of emergencies that impacted our finances pretty bad. We had a volcano erupt, which grounded a bunch of flights. So that kind of stalled things a little bit. Alright, hopefully everything was muted there. Alright, while we're waiting for that to be built, we could take a look at our research. Project Group 2 is complete. I think I want to get Program Group 2 up and running. I'm very excited to get medium aircraft in. So my vision for the airport is going to be, we'll have like the smaller carrier domestic flights on this terminal here. And then over here we'll have like the national carriers like American and United. And we'll have a couple of international carriers as well. And then this could be the international terminal. Of course, that's all far in the future. We need to get Terminal 2 built first. I'm very excited to connect them up with this parking structure in the middle. I am going to build a top floor to this parking structure. You can see the supports for said structure here. So that's going to bridge all the way across to the both terminals on either side and lead straight into the departures area. I'm also excited about this, like, under the concourse idea here, too. Of course I had to put pillars in. I just thought it would be weird without massive pillars holding up the concourse. Oh yeah, look, by the time this floor is built, we'll easily have enough to build the second floor, and then we can just go into planning mode and plan out our check-in area and everything. And then while that's being built, we can plan our baggage area. And then we're just going to go step by step. The goal is going to be to get all of this planned stuff built and maybe even get the runway replaced. The runway replacement is going to be tricky because I don't want to close the airport to do it. So I'm going to have to build a second small runway. Now that I'm thinking, I may actually just buy another plot of land. I might buy all the bottom plots of land, build the spare runway over here, and then the medium runway in here, and then we'll just run 2 runways for a little while. It would take some reconfiguring of the taxiways again, though. Pros and cons. Suppose alternatively we could buy this tile, and then instead of a taxiway here we could put in a medium runway. That would be replaced eventually. Yeah, the guys, that's true. More land does mean more money, because that's more land means more space for gates. More gates means more flights, and more flights means more money. But first, we need to get the basics done with our Terminal 2, because really the next big step to making money is going to be getting medium aircraft in. I think both of our hangars are free. Yes, they are. Okay. I'm also realizing I don't have an airport police station, which is less than ideal. And I may put in an access tunnel here so service vehicles can get across the airport grounds. See, this is 11 gates in this concourse already. And then we can put in a central concourse, which would probably have 10 gates. And then we can put in an elongated third concourse, which could have as many gates as the game will allow us to put. And then if we decide to get large aircraft on this concourse, they could go in that third one. Or in this terminal, they could go in that third concourse. So just some terminology for you guys who are not as big aviation buffs as I am. A terminal is like the entire structure. I'm pointing with my hands, you can't see. A terminal is like the entire structure. So like even if this had 3 or 4 arms, like that would all be considered the terminal. And then each branch where the gates connect those would be called concourses. And typically, a lot of airlines that are either owned by one parent company or are part of an airline alliance. There's SkyTeam, Star Alliance, and One World are the three big airline alliances. They share concourses. Typically, there are some exceptions to that. In fact, there are many exceptions to that, but as a rule of thumb, that'll get you started. And then this area here I've reserved for the large control tower. It's going to be kind of like LAX in that regard, Los Angeles International Airport. They've got the control tower like right in the middle of the parking area, but it's like super tall. Come on, let's get that. Let's get the first building built. This is just going to be such a stark contrast to this itty-bitty terminal here. In fact, I should go ahead. Well, we can leave it on fast speed. Fast speed's not going to hurt anything. Let's go ahead and grab our terminal area tool. And let's designate all of this area here. And we'll go down to include that and that, but we want to keep the fire station neutral. What's that? Baggage bay. I know there's no baggage bay at Terminal 1. That's okay. So now all the vehicles and stuff that we have for this terminal will stay at this terminal because they're all tied to this vehicle depot. And then as we build more stuff over here, we'll designate this as Terminal 2, and all the trucks and staff that get assigned over here will stay over here. Jamie Martin, how's it going? Your dad's a fire chief? That's awesome. My grandpa was a fire chief. In fact, my city just recently named a road after him. He passed away a couple of years ago. Oh, thank you, the guys. I appreciate that. He was a great person. Missed by many more people than just our family. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. All right. We're just waiting for this area to be built here, so you can see our money has almost recovered to the point where it was before. And let's go ahead and drain it all again. Let's get up to there built. And we'll leave the main concourse open for now. But we do need the exterior walls. Oh my gosh, that tree there made me think there was like a stink bug crawling on my screen or something at first, just from like the size and shape of it there. Now that we have that building tagged for construction, let's maybe... It's under operations, dingus. Let's bring in like 50 more contractors. Should see if we have any better contractors yet. Blue Build Construction Limited. Up to 157 down to 3.3. Oh, man. That would be nice. Alan Arsonist, Key Account Manager. What? Interesting. It's like the game knows we're talking about fire stuff. Alright, so I'm just trying to think about what needs we're going to have for these 11 gates here. I am playing with full passenger density, which means the planes that come in are going to take passengers up to about their real-life capacity, or what you would expect a flight to board. Which is why these like Twin Otters and stuff, they're boarding like 18 passengers, 18, 20 passengers. So like the A320s and Boeing 737s and Q400s that we're about to get are going to be upwards of 80, 90, 100 passengers. Which is going to be a lot of passengers coming through at once. So we may have to turn our density down, which would be a bummer. That would probably help the game performance as well, but don't need to do that yet. I'm just thinking because we only have medium security check-in desks available. I don't know, maybe 6 security desks? Oh, I don't want to build it yet. I want to be in planning mode. Let's maybe start there. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tentatively. Wow, look at all the people waiting for the bus here. Alright, so if that is tentatively the security area, we're still in planning mode. You can make that come out to about here for the lines. Something like that. Ish, and then we can do check-in on this side. And what would that look like? Maybe we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 check-in desks For 11 gates, that should be able to keep up. I mean, we have... What do we have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 check-in desks for... Let's see, 12 gates? So yeah, that should be good. And we do have room to expand if necessary. So then, where do we want them to go from here? Well, I guess I should plan the baggage system, right? Let's have the baggage come down this way. Like so. And then maybe we could... do something like this. Switch to high speed. And baggage escalator down. So then this is where our bags would be coming out. I want to keep this kind of tight to the wall because we're going to have... Let's see, where are... I need to make this a secure zone down here. Even if just temporarily. Let's do that. And let's plan where our arrivals are going to go. At least the pathway for the arrivals. It's going to be an escalator. Oh, we can have the escalator be... Can we do that? How does that look up here? It butts up right against the security desk. So I actually want to bring it back. And cuts into here. So I want it to go over one, over and back one from where it is. This is why planning mode is super useful. So let's try that. How does that look? And then we could take this and do that. And then we could put an elevator here as well. In fact, if we put an elevator there, what would that look like? We just plan for this to be an elevator, and then we could do like vending on this side. And then let's see, we're gonna need a baggage carousel for this concourse. The idea is that each concourse is gonna have its own baggage, so I want to make sure, even if we don't build it all right now, I want to make sure that we have room for 3 of these comfortably. And then we need to plan how our security setup is going to be. The security could be over here. Alright, so there's that. And if it passes that, it can get routed out to there. If it fails that, it needs to go through all of these. That was organics, guns, explosives, drugs, and money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If it passes all of that, it can rejoin and head out to the baggage. If it fails all of that, it needs to come down. Let's get that a little bit more centralized. Oh, I have to consider space as well. So let's have the stage 3 be up here. Then if this is rejected, ooh, see, okay, can't do that. This is why planning mode is great. We need to move those. Let's put the belt in first. Why is this going backwards? Stop going backwards. Thank you. Okay. Stage 3. Like that. And then, if you pass that, congrats. You get to go to your baggage. Now, if you fail, you get annihilated. Let's do that. And this doesn't really need to move that fast. Alright, so this is going to be our tentative belt setup. Oh, I just thought of something that would help save space. I could put the baggage security on a basement level, then send it back upstairs to go here. I like that. I like that a lot. That would allow us to have a lot more passenger space up here, as well as just declutter this area, which I'm a fan of. So let's just say this is going to be... Well, I want to make sure there's room for a staff room. Well, the staff room can have a different wall. That's fine. Alright, so this is going to be our baggage area. And look at that. It's almost perfectly lined up with where arrivals are. So maybe I'll actually sacrifice another square, just so I know once I build the other concourse, as long as I line up the arrivals, it shouldn't be an issue with our baggage, except for the elevator, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Maybe that elevator will be in a different spot eventually. Okay. So, now we need to build, and the basement level here can be quite small. Of course, it's going to need to be segregated from the passenger area. Let's go ahead and just mark this all as staff zone. Alright, I think that's all set as staff. Yes, it is. Honestly, we don't even really need this area to be staff only, but something about it all connecting up makes me happy. Let's basically go from this corner. I should pull up terminal. I want to go from this corner over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, you know what? It would be much easier just to do this. What is that size? 8 by 21, starting from this corner. Like, even that is too big for what we want to do. So, just trying to save money here. Let's see, 8 by 8, that should be big enough. Alright, so before we build it, we will plan it. Needs to be in a secure zone, of course. Alright, and let's get this set up. So we have the bags come in from here. They go in through there. They go through organics, guns, explosives, drugs, and money. If they fail that, they go into there. Alright, let's grab escalator up. You need to go there. You need to go there. And you need to go there. So, suppose I could just run this like this, just to justify this area. We'll do that, and then we will send it down, because it doesn't really matter where that's placed. See, this comes in quite nicely, actually. And then if you pass, you get to bypass straight like that. And then we'll go... Do we have tilt trays? We do. Tilt tray like that. Conveyor belt like that. And then conveyor belt doesn't actually need to be built inside terminal, strangely enough. So you can go there. We'll put a tilt tray in there. And then conveyor belt up like that. Alright, we do need a baggage destroyer. And we can use normal speed conveyor belts for this section. We'll go to there. Alright, that is our baggage security. Alright, and then the access to get down there, it can just be a normal stairwell. You can come down right there. And then we'll have a break room for our security guards. Right in there. Gross. Pandemic. 1 day, 16 hours. That's gonna really drain our passenger revenue, which is the only revenue we have in this game. We don't have any cargo, which is something I would have really liked to see, but maybe they're gonna make a sequel. Who knows? Okay. So we've got all this planned. We should put in a door here. Crosses different zones, because this is not tagged as staff zone. There we go. Now you're happy. Okay, so now what are we going to do with baggage claims? I kind of just want to put them in directly opposite the unloaders for maximum efficiency. Though that would interfere with any other arrivals, staircases, or escalators that we put in. So I think the solution is actually gonna be to undo some of what I just did. Not all of it. Not redoing all of it. Just maybe this line of conveyors here. Maybe after the bags go through security, we send them back up a level. And then once they're back up here is when they go to their destinations, and then when they arrive, they can dip underground, dip under the hallway, and then into the baggage claim. Because I do want to kind of reserve this area to be a walkway to get for passengers to get into the baggage claims. And so like if we just do that, and then we'll put security, like a major security exit in the middle here, and then we'll have baggage claims here. Yeah, okay. So I need to grab my belt. Where is my belt? We're gonna send bags up from oh, that's in the break room. There's only 2 security officer stations down here. They don't need a break room that large. Let's do that. It needs to be 1 more smaller. So now let's grab, which also that kind of makes me want to redo this, but I'm not redoing this again. Actually, instead of doing all that, I'll keep the resized room here just so I don't have to redo that again. And they honestly don't need that much space for providing relief for 2 officers. I could have the first divide be down here as it currently is. And then have it so belts. No, belts. Escalator up. There and there. Yes, this makes sense. We'll now send these guys down. You go like that. You come up here and then you hit a tilt tray. Just like that. Alright, so that is our baggage check-in finished for this concourse. Alright. I think I want to put bathrooms here. We'll put the staircase up right here, maybe? I'm realizing I can probably lay this out a little bit better and utilize some of this space. How many check-in desks? If I put, let's say I want to reserve this much area. That's a really tiny break room for passenger service agents. So much so it's probably not even worth it, and it's probably just insulting. I mean, I could do a break room for passenger service agents here and put like a door through this wall for them. Because that is a lot of dead space there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make this a staff room. Not this. So if we just do this... Now I'm trying to think of the spaces required for the queues. I think that works. Got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we saved a whole bunch of space here, which means when we build our second concourse, we'll have space to add more check-in desks. Hey, Vice Eater, how are you doing? I hope you haven't been waiting for a response for too long. I have been focused on that. Alright, let's build the entrance area. Or I should say, let's plan the entrance area. Alright, so I want people to come in primarily here. What's up, Vice Eater? I can't promise I'll have anything good to say, but you can certainly ask and I'll give it a try. Alright, so what if we did... Where would that come up? It's not bad. We'll do that. We'll clear out this as secure zone because we don't need it. you were to get someone trespassed from your house, but the person lives with you. Well, that's, I am not an expert on legal matters whatsoever. I mean, if it's like an emergency situation, I would call the police. Because ultimately they can tell you, like, if they can actually, like, remove the person from your house or not. Like, I don't know what your situation is. If it's like a roommate that's causing you problems, or like, I don't know how old you are. Maybe it's your parents. If it's your parents, you're kind of in a tough spot there. That's not something that's going to be resolved immediately. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of factors there, man, and it's one of those things I don't really have a good answer for you. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in legal matters. If you're an adult and under some kind of, like, rental agreement or something like that, they're doing drugs on your grandma's porch after she goes to sleep. I mean, if there's illegal activity going on, you could always call the police. Though they're probably going to get bigger charges than just trespassing. So you kind of got to weigh that. You know, do you want them to go to jail for the drugs? If so, call the police. Right, and then let's bring... Yeah, if they're minors, that's a tough situation, man. That's you kind of just gotta keep your head down and make the best choices you can for yourself, and don't participate. And that's pretty much all you can do in that situation. I feel like these are not the same size at all. Essentially 8 by 8 by 7. Similar. Hey, the guys. Vice Eater was just asking for some advice. Let's see. The airport's coming along very well. We've purchased an additional section of land. We went to the east instead of to the west, and we're planning out our first part of our new terminal. We're planning out the security and check-in and baggage for the first concourse. And we're just about to the point where we can start building, I think. Okay. This song here's a bop. And do hedges between our security stations. And then maybe just for future proofing, we go ahead and put in a second. I want to handle this. Well, we know this area is finalized down here, correct? So let's go ahead and have our workers start building that. Yeah, I am hoping I can get bigger planes here soon. That'd take it does take a lot more room, but you get a lot more money for that. So that's kind of the name of the game, though, right? And honestly, we only have a third of the entire space we have available to us unlocked. So the plan is once we get this up and running, we're gonna totally demolish all this stuff and start over with another big area here. All right, I see you have two. I see you have two comments that I haven't answered yet. The guys, I'll go to them one at a time. So, what are you saying can't be true? Yeah, I saw that. I was going to get to that one next. Since you were saying that can't be true, I thought you were talking about... I thought you were talking about something else. Yeah, the guys, when you say, what can you tell me about being a firefighter, what do you want to know? And like Vice Eater says, sometimes you have really, really bad days, but sometimes you have really, really good days. It depends on the shift, it depends on what kind of area you live in. There's a lot of factors that go into it, so I guess like if you could be a little bit more specific in your question, I can give you a better answer. I'm wondering if my chat monitor is lagging behind a little bit. Let me see if I can pull up the live stream on my phone and... let's see. No. Alright, so you're a rookie and it's your first day being a firefighter. So a lot of times, almost every single fire department, whether you are career, part-time, or volunteer, you have what's called a probationary period, where you're basically learning how that department works, how it operates. You're starting to memorize all your like SOPs, standard operating procedures. If you do medical calls, you're learning all of your protocols for that, medical protocols. And you kind of do every department has a different length of time. For me, my probationary period was a year. Some departments do 90 days, some departments do 6 months. It really depends on the specific department for that. But during that probationary period, if your fire department has multiple stations, a lot of times you'll be rotated around through the different stations so you can learn about how the different stations operate, and just kind of meet and get to know all the people in the department. And you have what's like it's like a binder like you get for school, like a 3-ring binder, and it's filled with worksheets, I guess, for lack of a better term. Basically stuff that you need to learn to pass your probationary period. Things like the types of knots you need to know off the back of your hand. You need to be able to know where all the tools are on all the apparatus, like at the beginning. So your probationary period, it's basically like information overload, but it's still a lot of fun. You're basically learning what it takes to be a firefighter at that specific department. So a lot of departments have, and different departments have different traditions for what probies are expected to do. You might be expected to bring in food or cook food or wash the truck or something, but the key thing to remember when you're a probationary firefighter is to keep your ears open and your mouth shut, because nobody cares about anything that you've done, even if you've been a firefighter before at a different department. That doesn't really apply to what you're doing now at this department. So just keep your mouth shut, say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am, and learn. That's the biggest thing you can do as a brand new firefighter. Alright, I gotta figure out how I want to lay out these baggage bays. I'll probably open up this hallway just a little bit more, so we're not just like literally restricted by... So we'll do that. We'll expand the security zone. Yeah, Vice Eater, it is a lot of paperwork. Well, I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's not a good career move. Alright, so this is like the secure hallway here. Let's maybe do... security exits here, maybe? That sound like a plan? Oh, I accidentally had them build that hallway. Well, I guess we're locked into here now. Whoops. Alright, so if your tones go off, you're just getting to the truck and getting your gear on as quick as possible, climbing in the back of the truck, and you're going to be riding to the fire. You're kind of thinking about... you have a headset, a lot like this, that you're listening to while you're in the truck, and you can hear the... Well, I should preface this, it depends on your department. If you are in a volunteer department that doesn't have a lot of money, you might not have the headsets. My department, we have headsets, and you can hear the first arriving companies and like what's going on with the fire. Or if you are the first due company, the first one that's going to get on scene, you'll probably be talking amongst yourselves about what you're going to do when you get to the scene and when you see what is happening. If it's a residential fire, you're going to be talking about who's going to be doing search and rescue, who's going to be grabbing the tools to breach the door. You're going to be talking about who's going to be grabbing the crosslays. You're basically just going to be making your plan for when you get there. There's not really a lot of time for emotion. It's game on. I mean, that's a firefighter's bread and butter, is a residential house fire. Your first few times, you're going to be a little bit nervous. You're going to be excited. But the mark of a professional firefighter is you don't let those feelings get in the way of doing the job. Yeah, Vice Eater. Fire caused by a faulty circuit. Vice Eater, what SCBA do you use? I see you say it's complete garbage. Let's maybe just do like our first baggage claim, something like this. Maybe we could just leave this whole front area instead of walling it off like that. We could just leave it open. Oh shoot, I'm not in planning mode. Okay, I guess we're locked in. That's going to be our first baggage claim area. The guys, yes. My fire department, we had our own ambulances and we transported our own patients, so we got EMS calls all the time. In fact, in the modern day, EMS calls are so frequent, you get them way more than fires, typically. You kind of don't even think anything. You're just kind of like, all right, on to the next one. Alright, I think we go ahead and lock in on... You know what, let's build our supports down here, and let's get ready to build our first terminal area. Or, sorry, our first concourse area. Do you know if they're... I don't need to know the specific... type, Vice Eater. Do you know if they're Scots or MSAs? $10,000 support pyramids. Pyramids? Support pyramids? Support pillars. I don't know where pyramids came from. $675,000 just for the concourse building. Sounds about right. MSAs? Nice. Wildlife's the guys? What are you, do you mean wildfires? If you mean wildfires, I can't talk about that because I've never been to a wildfire. Vice Eater, I don't. That was well before my time, and I'm not a history buff. I mean, I am a history buff, just not an LAFD history buff. Yeah, the guys, I've never been to a wildfire. We are too urban for that, where I am. Sometimes we have outdoor fires, but they're definitely not wildfires. We don't even have a tender or a tanker at our fire department. We have 2 engines, 2 trucks, a rescue, and 4 ambulances. And 3 boats. Technically, we had 3 engines, but one of them was just a parade unit, and it was from 1920. It still pumps, though. It still pumps. Let's maybe actually not have hedge there. Let's do wall instead. Now, a lot of space in this terminal is going to be kind of dead space to begin with, just because we got to leave room for our second concourse infrastructure. All right, I'm thinking we put bathrooms in. How do I want to do this? Can I squeeze in another check-in desk down here if I move? This is why planning mode is useful. I will say that every time. What if we do this? What firefighter school is good? I mean, there's not really any firefighter school. Not in the sense of, you know, like Embry-Riddle is the nation's best aeronautical engineering university. You know, there's nothing like that for fire school. Well, I shouldn't say most. A lot of big career departments, if that's your goal, they have their own academy that they will put you through. However, if you live in a smaller suburban or rural area, you're going to need to... Oh, we need more security officers. You're going to need to put yourself through fire school, but almost any community college has a program for fire school. Some universities have like more formal fire academies, but yeah, there's not really... You also don't really need to worry about like getting into fire school if you put yourself through, because it's not like a degreed thing. So it's not hard to get into fire school unless it's in high demand in your area. That's not saying, you know, fire school itself is easy. It's not. It's a lot of hard work, just like anything else in the fire service. But, you know, you don't need to worry about your SAT or ACT scores for getting into fire school or anything like that. You live in a small town but want to be a firefighter in LA. That might be a little bit more competitive. The big city departments usually are a little bit more competitive, but if you can make it, that would be great. Oh, I just committed to building all those check-in desks. I don't want to. Can I cancel it? Yes, I can. Okay, planning mode, please. Trying to get some bathrooms up here nicely. That's what I'm stuck trying to make fit in here. LA County Fire Department? Yeah. I've heard good things about them, and not just from the TV show. Let's see. If I did like toilet, space, toilet. wall, space, sink, wall, sink. That's a lot. That's way more space for a bathroom than I was planning. So let's not do that. I kind of want this to be like the walk-in area. Like you walk in, you do your check-ins, then you go into security, and then out down your concourse. Hey Dom, yeah, it's going well. Depends, the guys. There is some math involved. Especially if you're an engineer, then yeah, there's quite a bit of math involved when you're calculating things like friction loss, which is the pressure lost by the time the water gets to the nozzle from the pump, because the water is rubbing against the hose, causing friction, and that slows the water down. So there's not as much pressure at the nozzle as there is at the pump. Also, the engineer needs to know how hard to push the pump when you're pumping vertically. So if you're taking a hose up 3 stories from where your pump is, the engineer needs to know how much more pressure to apply at the pump for you to get 100 psi at the nozzle. All right. So we can just do maybe some smaller. 1, 2, space, sinks. Alright, new plan. Oh, never mind, because I was going to do that. I was going to say I'm just going to put the bathrooms here, but that would totally block the entrance. Wish I could go back to full screen instead of the box thing. Oh, are you talking to Dom, Vice Eater? You know what? On the stairwells. Let's maybe do that for the bathrooms. Let's build one of these. Let's actually go to all. All right. If there's a firefighter down, you call a mayday. And basically whoever is in position to help you will, or the RIT team will go in and pull you out. Rapid intervention team. And yes, as Vice Eater says, you have an alarm on your SCBA where if you are still for too long, it'll start going off and it'll let the people around you know that you're in trouble. I think we can go ahead and commit to the stairwells at least. The stairwells and the front wall, probably. Plus wall isn't that difficult to change. What is that? I don't know what I'm building there. But let's build it anyway. These are pretty small bathrooms. I guess I could extend them out this way. Oh, you know what? I could put the bathrooms here. And then they can be a little bit longer. How long is that? 150. 150. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, Vasiter, have a good night. Thanks for coming by. Oh, the guys, I can't answer that question. There are so many factors that are, every fire is different. Every single-story family dwelling fire is different. The number of factors that would go into a 27-floor commercial building, I can't even begin to talk about like what we would do, other than we would have lots and lots and lots of mutual aid come in to give us a hand, because my department is not in any way equipped to deal with something like that on our own, because we don't have buildings that big. Typically when you have larger commercial structures, you do what's called pre-planning. So before there's an incident there, you'll go and you'll see like the layout of the building, where like rooms where rooms are, basically everything that you would need to know, like layout wise of the building, where the electrical box is, where the hazards are as well. So if you have that pre-planning information, you can start to plan your actions on your way there. But really, until you get the size up, it's all guesswork. Oh, that sounds like an emergency. What do we have going on? Coast to Coast Flight CC-450 is experiencing an in-flight medical emergency and requires ambulance assistance. Yep, we can get you in. Stand R5. No, not foam for an electric fire. for an electric fire, you want to use either CO2 or dry chem. Mostly CO2. If it's a large electric fire where like the rest of the building is involved, then you just shut off the electricity to the entire building and then fight it like any other fire with water, as long as all the electricity is off. If it's something small like your computer, you use a CO2 fire extinguisher. Foam is for flammable liquid a lot of the time. So like if there's oil in the road that's on fire, we'll use foam for that. Or basically what foam does is it makes a blanket over whatever's on fire, and it helps suppress the fire from getting oxygen to burn. And it also helps take the heat out. I'm trying to put this into layman's terms as best as I can. In fire school, you'll learn about the fire triangle, which are, it's called the fire triangle because there used to be 3 factors that go into making a fire. Now there's 4 factors that are recognized, and those 4 factors are fuel, oxygen, heat, and then the new 4th thing is an ignition source. So yeah, foam helps interrupt the fire triangle, mostly by being a insulating blanket over, like, between the fuel and the atmosphere. Alright, let's get this line built. That was kind of an ugly one. Let's see if we can get this one to go any more smoothly. Not particularly. Oh, I used to have a method for getting this. You know what? I'm just gonna say screw it to the first line. That's gonna be the new method.
Battery low.
Oh, that was my headset. You're gonna hear it say charging battery once I plug this in.
Charging battery.
What if there's
Charging
a canine
battery.
or a pet in the house or building? Then we try to get it out if it's safe for us to, well, relatively safe for us to do so. We're not going to needlessly risk a human life for a pet life, but we will do our best to get it out. Alright, I'm going to put in some temporary walls here just because we're not using any of this terminal yet. Or this part of the terminal yet. So maybe go ahead and deploy all of our contractors. First, let's reject all of our low applicants. Alright, these are all going to be passenger-only checkpoints. Let's also start to build our walkway here. I want the subway permit. I still need to design my baggage claim. Alright, let's switch back to planning mode. What if it's a trap? I mean, I guess then we die. Alright, baggage claims here. And you know what? Let's extend them. Yeah, let's do this. Let's make the baggage claims. How big is this area? Actually, I like this area. Yeah, so how big is this area here? If I do that, And then I go baggage claim area. How big is that? 35 by 30. Do you think I have two 35 by 30 spaces here? There's one, and then a wall to separate. 35 by 36. So we'll do that. There's our baggage claims. Is there training for certain vehicles? Guess I'm gonna need to ask for clarification again there, the guys. ARF Mobile Command Hazmat. Yeah, a lot of that stuff is separate training. Also, ARF vehicles are generally handled by specialist airport fire departments. There are some exceptions, especially in bigger cities, but for the most part, if you're on an ARF vehicle or a crash truck, you are working for a airport fire department. Why do I feel like this is bigger than this? I definitely didn't put in the wrong size, right? Oh, I see why. because I messed up the placement of that. That's why planning mode is important. Oh, you're okay, the guys. I appreciate your questions. Car explosion. What do you want to know about them? There's not typically a lot we can do for a car explosion other than try to protect or save anything that is around it. So a lot of times explosions, they're not like what you see in the movies. They're not like giant fireballs. They're think more like it's hard to describe to somebody who hasn't actually seen one. It's more just like you have an object that is in one place and then suddenly it's in many different places. Right? It's not like it's typically not like a giant fireball unless there's lots and lots of gasoline and other flammable materials involved. Well, I mean, I suppose, you know, like a BLEVE, boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion, depending on what it is, those could be fireballs. Okay, yeah, there's lots of different kinds of explosions, but if a car were to explode, if we're assuming that the car is isolated on the road, there's nobody else around it, like, you know, people have said, hey, that car is on fire, I'm gonna stay away from it. If it wasn't near another building, it would probably be like a non-issue. We would help anybody that was hurt. There probably wouldn't be much left to put out, unless it was near a building or something, in which case we would have to address any damage that came to the building. Yeah, alright. I know I can fit these, so let's put in a wall. Okay, firefight, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alarm fire. Okay, so that refers to how far down like the unit assignments you're going. Especially in bigger departments or bigger city areas, you have what are called run cards, and basically it tells you like cities are usually divided into districts. And if a fire were to happen in this district, what units are the first to respond based on their proximity? So if I had a fire on 1st Street, then my first due for a structure fire on the run card might be Engine 1, Engine 2, Truck 1, Rescue 1, Medic 1. And then if we need more resources after that, we would get a second alarm. So then, like, the next furthest out. So then we might get Engine 3, Truck 2, Medic 4. And then if we need even more resources, then we go the next step further out. That's your third alarm. And now, typically, unless you live in a really big city, that's when you're definitely going to start pulling in mutual aid. So now we might get, if you're in LA, maybe you'll get, LA's a bad example because it's such a big city. I'm trying to think of like a city that's big enough to be known where I also know like the suburbs of it. Okay, well, I'm gonna use LA. It's a bad example because they all use LA City Fire, even if you're in like a different city or neighborhood. So let's say you have a fire in Harbor City, California, which is a neighborhood in LA, or a city within LA. It's weird out there. In real life, they just use LA City Fire, but we're going to pretend like Harbor City is its own city, okay? So you have a fire on 1st Street in Harbor City. You get Engine 1, Engine 2, Truck 1, Rescue 1, Medic 1 coming in. The chief gets on scene, or the battalion chief gets on scene, and he's like, oh wow, this is really out of hand, we need our second alarm. So then you get Harbor City, Engine 2, Truck 2, Medic 2 coming in, and that's all your resources for Harbor City Fire. They're like, oh man, we still can't get this under control, we need our third alarm. So now on top of all your Harbor City units, you're calling San Pedro Engine 1, you're calling Glendale, or maybe not Glendale, you're calling in Palos Verdes Engine 2, you're calling, and then, so that's your third alarm, and then you still can't get it under control, that's your fourth alarm. Now you're calling in units from LA City. So it just goes in like how many units you need, and those are divided by how far out from the incident that they are. Think of it like a dartboard, or not a dartboard, like a target, like a shooting range target that's got the different zones from the center. If your fire's in the center, your first alarm is that bullseye, then your second alarm is your departments in the yellow ring, then your third alarm's the departments in the green ring, and then your fourth alarm is your departments in the black ring. Or stations, rather than departments. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, that's good. The number of alarms really depends on the area. I'm sure somewhere like New York City has a 6th alarm. Where I live, we wouldn't ever go up to a 6th alarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. And so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we've got another emergency. We got here. We received a turnaround request from the nation's air ambulance service and flight EM57. Okay. There you go. Stand R5 is all yours. I've never seen that emergency before. My most insane call. Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you about a call that I was actually on. I'll tell you about something I witnessed instead. So, this was actually at my life flight job. I was on the ground. We were in a mobile ICU, which is an ambulance that has a very high level of care, more so than like a 911 ambulance. And we were going to pick up a patient. We were driving down the highway, and all of a sudden it's night, and all of a sudden we see this huge fireball. The sky, like, it lights up like it was daytime, and we were near an airport that was near us. We were like, oh God, what just happened? And we go around the corner, and there is a 2-engine propeller plane, but like a large one, not like a, not like a small private plane, like a commercial plane. It wasn't exact. Here, I'll show you. It wasn't exactly like one of these, but like similar. It was like a similar size to one of these. If we had a DC-3 here, that would probably be the most comparable in size to what it was. And it had crashed while trying to land. It stalled out while it was on final approach, and we witnessed its crash. We were the ones that called it in. It's something that it's pretty much unheard of in our area. Yeah, it was just crazy that we actually saw it happen. And thankfully it was a cargo plane. So, unfortunately, the 2 pilots did die, but there wasn't anybody else that was hurt from it. This is not going to be anywhere near adequate seating for this area, but it's going to be about the best we can do. I might want to turn these stairs around. Yeah, actually, I think I do. Yes, a passenger plane would have been much worse in terms of, like, people dying. No problem, but guys, thanks for staying and hanging out. That was a nice chat. Have a good night. Alright, and we're going to keep pressing on with the terminal here. I don't want to obstruct the seating area here too much, but we kind of need to. Or, not seating area, the walkway. And some small chairs in here. Alright, let's get at least these parking lots up and running. I'm quite proud of this area here, you know? If we go here, where does that comes out in the baggage claim? Okay, that's fine. We can work with this. Alright, I need to move this belt a little bit. Mainly because I need a way for my passenger service agents to get from up front to the back here. And the way I'm going to do that is going to be with another support. So let me build a pillar there. Okay, can I get this terminal over? I can't. I need to actually do this. And probably that. Where is the conveyors? Right, now the purpose of this little exercise here was to give us a staff entrance and exit. Let's do a staff door there and a staff door there. It honestly did not need to be this big. I don't know why I made it this big. That's alright. We should be able to just use a small security entrance and then a security exit. And then all this is basically going to be dead space, which is why I was saying I don't know why I made it this big, but that's alright. It's there in case we need it for anything else. Maybe we need to make another break room at some point. Alright, speaking of break rooms. Well, it is kind of rude that they have to walk through the break room to get to the security checkpoint. So let's do that. I don't know why I made the queue that big. The queue is not going to be that big for staff. We can make it just go like that, and that should be sufficient. Alright, there's the break room. Oh, I know what I could do here with this space. Two more bathrooms, one secured, one not secured. Both for staff only. Alright, another emergency. Alright, and there's our staff zone. I hear a fire truck going out. All right. Nicely handled by our emergency services. I think we can go ahead and open up. Hello? Oh, I'm on the wrong level. There we go. Yeah, let's get this entire parking lot open. And let's get all this stuff built. Except for the baggage carts, because those are expensive. We do need this built, though. And all that. This is going to be a staff room down here. Alright, ramp agent room. Alright, and let's get our first baggage claim area with some belts in it. All right. Page down so we can actually select the stuff we want to build. Alright, that took up a significant amount of the money that I had left. Maybe not surprisingly. Alright, next big chunk of money that we're going to get is going to be to unlock this land so we can put in our replacement runway for this side of the operation. Oh, the lag is starting. That's how you can tell your airport's getting big. The game starts hating it. Alright, all of our short-term parking is being utilized. I'm gonna need to refill my water soon. Now, I really should have signed with a bigger building company or a bigger contracting company when I started this terminal. But we're most of the way through it now, so... Alright, let's buy some trucks. Alright, let's get some large pullback baggage trucks. Oh, excuse me. We have 5 gates, so let's get 3 trucks. 3 of you. We get 5 small force pushbacks, because I guess why not? And then let's go to operations. I'd like you to research fewer trailer trucks. This traffic flowed much better in my head. I don't know why the belt loaders are having such a hard time finding the parking. Sorry, I'm tired. Alright guys, I'm coming up on 3 hours of streaming, so I know I said I wanted to get this whole concourse done today, but that's looking like it's going to be a little bit unlikely. I suppose we do have this almost to the point of being openable, but we do need to change out the runway and build the perimeter fence. Oh no. Oh, that's just a service road, that's fine. That makes much more sense. Alright, what's our emergency? Engine failure emergency. Is it because it's a medium? We don't have a medium runway. What the heck? We don't have the ability to accommodate this. We don't have the runway. It's because we have these stands built. We're just gonna have to fail it, which sucks.
Charge complete.
That was my headset again. Charge is quick, at least. Man, we're just so close to being able to get medium aircraft up and running. I just don't want to, I don't want to stop the stream, even though I've been completely silent for probably 20 minutes. Excuse me. I don't know that all my baggage trucks are in their assigned parking. Oh, no, they must be. 3 and 3. Alright, I guess let's draw out Terminal 2. Oh, no, you don't. You're going there. You are going there. No, I just assigned you parking. You're going there. And then you are going there. I've actually never used these parking lots. It's kind of cool seeing your vehicles parked and ready to go. I know they're not as efficient as the... as efficient as the garages such as this, but you can't build these garages underneath terminals, unfortunately. But I think this looks, like I said, I think this looks pretty cool, so I'm not too upset about it. What are you... I don't know where that fuel truck thinks he's going. Oh, he went over to refuel. Or refill. Well, just drained all of our all of our Jet A1. Oh, you guys are all full. That's why. I don't think we need any more service vehicles as of right now. I mean, I'm basically going to have to double everything I just got once I open up these stands, or once I build those stands. All right. We only have a couple of highly qualified candidates. You don't need 14. I guess the thing that'd be pretty crucial would be restrooms. Oh. I know there's a shortage of security officers, so I'm now hiring less than ideal candidates. What do you mean not connected? Because baggage handling is disabled? Yeah, I don't want to enable it yet. None of my small aircraft have baggage service. Alright guys, I think we're going to go ahead and call it there. I do need to get that medium runway in, and I just need to save up money in order to be able to do it. And that's going to take a little while, so next time, hopefully we will actually get Terminal 2 up and running, at least with the initial concourse. Until then guys, I'm a Shadowbox. Thank you very much for tuning in, or for watching the VOD if you're watching it after the fact. Until next time, have a good one.